presentation. Now, I know I just recently got through talking to y'all about the Nazca Sun Star, but I also in my previous live video mentioned to some people some very important information. So I wanted to show you all exactly what I was talking about as far as when it comes down to this Sun Star and cross of Peru that I've been showing you all. There's some important information to realize about it. Now, I'm going to fast forward all the way to the end so that you do not have to go through all of this scrolling and reading, and show you all that Doug Krieger, or Krieger or Krieger, however you pronounce his name, Doug Krieger did this, and this was in 2012, excuse me. Now, I want you to understand, or need you to understand, that when I fast forward down here and go back and start reading, this was for the sole purpose of, I don't want you to have to read any of this. I'm not trying to hide anything. I have nothing to hide. I just want y'all to be able to have the quickest presentation, most understandable presentation that you can. And so all of these things that you see here now are the measurements, and I'll show you the significance of them here soon. But I first have to show you all what is very important. These are the things that when y'all talk about things you're talking about, whatever you're saying to yourselves is causing you to strive to support my work as if it's not the real deal. Something's wrong. So conclusion is that the number 9, and you see 12 right there, that'll get brought up later. When was the date of my birth that I told you all? It's 12. So you then also have right here 18. 1 and 8 are across from each other on my work, as you can see right here. The green 1 and 8 are across from one another. 9 is by itself, so that's a predominant number. 0, 9 is the way that you say number 9 as well. So you have 2 and 7, which are across from each other on my work, and you have 2 and 7, as you can see if you look at the 2 yellow, yellow 2, and yellow 7. And then you also have the number 36 right here. Now, y'all have to understand that me just saying that it looks like my work, or showing y'all the significance of putting the star over, like I did in that video, of putting the star over my work, is one thing. Showing that it lands on the corners, I guess y'all feel like just if it's a square, then a square is going to naturally land on. I'm trying to put myself in y'all's form of thinking. I haven't heard you all, so therefore I have to think from y'all's point of view. I don't know what y'all could be thinking. I know that y'all aren't bold enough to say things, obviously, but think that you got room enough not to like the video to support somebody who's done something of alien intelligence. That means I've surpassed human intelligence. As long as I can understand this right here and y'all can't understand. These are simple numbers. There really isn't truly anything not to understand. It's your choice at that point. It's your conscious decision and your spiritual state that makes you not support something like that. Because if you saw an alien out here making some code or something like that, you'd be amazed. Let alone some human being who has risen himself to a conscious level to understand an alien code. It's way more amazing. But y'all gonna choose to be where you at. Number 54, as you can see, 5 and 4 are across from each other on my work. But the first thing that I said when I saw this star is that everything there is at a 45-degree angle. Now you need to understand as well that everything here is at a 45-degree angle. And you need to also understand that I'm not making this video to check you all. I'm making this video to inform to you all the best I can, that I know what I'm talking about, I show what I'm talking about, and there is no reason that I should not be getting support when I've shown and proven everything that needs to be proven. It's one thing for the discovery to look like the open box that you see in the center. The 4 corners all land there on 0 and 9, which have the same thing. And like I just said, maybe you all think that any square is just going to fit on a square because it's a square. You have to understand that the metrics that I showed you, if you add a square to that, then you wouldn't have that square fit there. You have to have a certain amount of that Nazca star is set to a certain amount of squares. So you can't just change the amount of squares that's there. But y'all act like y'all don't get the significance of that I just said. So it's not about it's just a square. It's set to metrics. to lock on. And it just so happens to be that I had never seen the Nazca star before. I made my discovery in my fractal first, and I saw that I started researching crop circles. This was all done on YouTube. I made this discovery first, and then it sent me down a road of desiring to research crop circles. And so I wanted to find out about ancient crop circles because I said that this right here looks like a magnetic field kind of. And I said that I feel like that's kind of how they were making crop circles in this day and time, through magnetic field interaction, stamping like irons. You know how an iron can stamp a ground? Some type of invisible iron, just stamping the ground quickly is how I kind of seeing things going on in my head. I'm not saying that's what's going on. But as I went down that road of research, I typed in ancient crop circles because I said, why are crop circles a thing that we hear of now? There's only been a couple of stories where I've heard of them being devil things and stuff like that. The devil story of the devil cutting the stuff down and cutting the grass down and causing those designs to be there in ancient times. But as I typed up ancient crop circles, that's where I ended up coming across the Nazca Sun Star, or the Nazca lines first. And in that video, they had the Sun Star there that they mentioned. And they said that this is actually one of the most, these geoglyphs are the ones that they show the least compared to the other Nazca stars. And you would wonder, okay, it's secretive, number one. It's something that you don't want destroyed at all if you're trying to study it and find out what the answer to it is. Because the other ones, you might stand no chance. They're birds and all type of other things and stuff like that. But this one here is mathematically precise. When you look at this Nazca Sun Star, y'all have to understand that you can't, when you're questioning, when I show what the answer is, you can't say that's not the answer if you can't, number one, provide that it's the answer. I mean, provide a better answer. Show that this isn't the answer. And then if you also can't comprehend the fact that this is a mathematical star and what are supposed to go, is it a word thing? You don't put words there where those dots are at on the Nazca star. That's not what you do. So the Nazca Sun Star, what I'm explaining is when you look at this Sun Star, does this look like something that words could solve? No, if you have any common sense. So that's how you use deductive reasoning to understand that whatever the answer is, it is something mathematical. It is not words. You will not use words to put where the dots are in order to understand this star. It's just that simple. So therefore you use numbers. If you could understand that, if words can't do, and that's where you would end up understanding everything that I've understood and showed you all. And that's that the numbers that we use, you don't, even in other systems of numbers, you using the same numbers. I just went over that in my previous video. With base 60, you're using 1 through 10. I'm not teaching anything for nothing. I promise I'm not. The vegetable system, or vigedecimal system, however you pronounce it, of base 20, you are using 1 through 9, 0 through 9, and then looping at a different set of characters. Duodecimal, same thing. I can show and prove these things. Look. The duodecimal number system, you're utilizing the numbers 1 through 9 still. You're just taking different characters for the numbers 11 through 10, which is kind of like taking some language number. It's no different than taking some foreign characters from another language and putting them in the replacement of the traditional English 10 and 11 and acting like it's something different going on there. All you're changing is the loop. That's it. But you're still using the numbers 1 through 9. Which have to be used. And the same thing goes for the Babylonian number system, marked 1 through 59. This stuff has to be understood, man, for you to understand the significance of a discovery. 1 through 10, And then when you get to 10, you start with the number just like 11. The number 10 is that bow and arrow looking thing. And so you put the bow and arrow, and then you would need the number 1 to write 11. And there you are with the number 1. They're still looping at a 10 system. It's no different. Y'all just don't get it, obviously. It's no different. You're still using the numbers 1 through 10. And so it shows the significance of that once you actually start to decrypt the Nazca Sun Star, now you see that there are, you mean to tell me it has exactly the numbers that I'm using that I made my discovery with, and I told y'all that that's the answer? Why does it use, why are those numbers there? And how many numbers are there in the world? Infinity, right? There's an infinite amount of numbers, you mean to tell me, and out of infinity, not just one number was used that I used, not just two numbers was used that I used, not three numbers for it, but you mean to tell me every number that's there is there that I use, and you mean to tell me that it's not the answer? You mean to you strongly want me to believe you? You think I should drop my intelligence and believe anybody that thinks that they could say that that's not the answer with everything that I'm showing right here? Is that smart of me to do? And if it ain't smart of me to drop that and act like it's not, is it smart as well for you all to look over somebody provide such answers? I mean, who else doing it like that? I'm proving whether the earth is flat or a globe. You'll say nobody could ever find out, but you ain't seen nobody doing the work on ground to find, because it is able to able to be found out. Somebody found out how to make this cell phone. Somebody found out how to make CERN. I don't see how y'all could think something as simple as figuring out the earth that you walk on could not ever be found out. If you dedicate your time and intelligence to anything, you can find out the answer. Y'all need to quit playing with somebody like me, man. I'm not playing about this intelligence thing. I take this shit serious. I will not have my work looked over as if I've done nothing, as if I don't know what I'm talking about and have shown that I've done and got the right answers. Now look at what this guy Doug Krager is saying and showing. He went down there and he measured this 36, these numbers that he's coming with. In Christianity, where in the Bible does this all say this? You need to understand it. 27 says Messiah revealed. 36 says eternal God. The only thing you could do is figure out why this man said that. I'm not saying that that is, but it's worth looking into. So the New Jerusalem, if y'all ever research the New Jerusalem, yeah, a lot of y'all would say we're coming into a new age of awareness and things like that. That the world, we got to go through hell before we're going to the age of Aquarius. That people are, it's going to get better, but we got to go through hell first, is what people, okay, well, that's kind of like the New Jerusalem coming in. And when you look into the New Jerusalem, what it looks like, the pyramid that I'm talking about building, it looks just like that with the water there and everything. I didn't do that purposefully either, just like discovering my discovery. This all comes from within. I'm not getting these answers from anybody. I don't look to any of this stuff and then put this stuff out here. I was on YouTube all the time, arguing with this dude named Bro Sanchez for most of the time that I was making my discoveries. I had myself distracted and wasn't even, so I couldn't have been in more than one place at one time. Most of my hours where I was there, all of this stuff was already here. And I showed it, and I showed when I came across it. So I couldn't have looked to this stuff. And then how could I look to so many different things at that too? If I did, you know, how could you put everything in there as far as your discovery? I mean, you looked at the Nazca star, then you looked at the measurements here and how, you know, this couldn't happen. So this shows that this is supposed to happen, bro. This wasn't a hit. You can't act like it was luck that I made the discovery at that point. I made more than one mathematical discovery with the numbers 0 through 9 and 4.5 in itself. That's just like if you seen somebody shoot a full court shot and made it a couple of times. You probably say it was luck until he did it 3 times in a row. Once you can double factor authenticate, then you can show people, okay, this ain't just by chance, man. Now, of course, it mentions the number 45 in here too. It says it's the rising, the second coming of the Son of Righteousness. As far as the birth date section, I'm looking for, because there were 2 articles, I'm looking for a specified section. So here you have, this right here is explaining to you all of those numbers that I just showed. And 144, of course, y'all know that one, but you have to understand that that's 9 too. 1 plus 4 plus 4 is 9. And when you speak of 144,000 in the Bible, you also have to understand that the number 0 is what makes 144,000 possible. If you did not have a discovery of a number 0, you wouldn't be able to say or record in history 144,000. That matters a lot. But what the Bible was written in, it didn't have zeros. You also got to understand that Hebrew is numbers 1 through 10. It does not have a 0 until the number 10. Because the number 10 with the 0 as it is, it does not. So that's something important to think about. And that's where I'm showing you the significance of my work. If you take the Hebrew 1 through 10 and replace the numbers that I have here, now the mathematics doesn't work out. Everything across from each other adds up to be 10 at that point. I mean, or 11 actually. 1 through 10. Everything adds up to be 11. 5 and 6 at the top of that do add up to be 11, but half of 11 is not 5.5. I mean 5.6. Just like 9, half of 9 is 4.5. And I just vaguely picked up on an error that I had in the previous video. I did the 1 through 10, but I said it added up to be 10. I was tripping. It adds up to be 11. That's my bad. But with it being 11, at least I'm an honest person too. With it adding up to be 11, half of 11, just like you see with 9, is 5.5. But you don't have that when you take those numbers and replace them. It's also not at a 56-degree angle or 55-degree angle. This is at a 45-degree angle. 4.5 is in the sense of 4 and half. 4 and 5 are touching. 4 plus 5 equals 9, and 4.5 plus 4.5 equals 9. Ain't that weird? You can't tell me that ain't weird, is it? That shit weird. Boy, when I made that discovery, I was like, boy, I know I did. I said, hold up, boy. How is that so consistent with 4 and 5? I was like, it's something about them 2 numbers. For real. That's what I said, bro. And ever since, it ain't been the same. When I put this shit out initially, people picked up on that speciality. It went worldwide. The crate challenge, all of that came from this. Yes, the crate challenge came from this. When else did you see that? As long as crates been around, when did you ever see them lined up just like you see that right there with a red cart, with a red, what do you call it? Cart on top, crate on top? Why they put the red crate? What was the purpose in it? Let me go back to YouTube to show the crate challenge, because they didn't always choose red, but maybe it was because it wasn't available. But I'm telling you, for the main, they used black. They made sure that their red was there. Shit crazy. My bad. I meant to put, you see that red right there? And I'm gonna see how many of them I go through and see red at the top. But they did do that. That was really weird. There's one. I don't want it to be the same. There's another one. There's, no, not that one. But there were plenty of them that did that and put the red one at the top. And I said, man, that looks just, I mean, it's symmetrical. It looks just like my work, bro. They made it look just like I did. And so besides that, when I did that and put that out, that's when everybody got big on the 45-degree angle because they realized what I said and introduced there. You had never heard any scientists or people out here very big on 45-degree angles. I showed the significance of that. Yes. So I'm not one sitting up tripping and making up anything. Let me continue to search for the information, the healthy information I was looking for at first. And it's just crazy that I could record all of this and show all of this. I know my psychiatrist can't watch every second of all of this. I mean, get real. But the fact is, I've not dealt with any touches sitting up here recording this video. But when I'm drawing this shit, man, here it is. I'm going through hell. I can't, or if I'm putting together something, such as a presentation for y'all to watch, I'm going through hell. Anything that has to contribute to me making my life better, this spirit tries to keep me held back from. And so that's why I need Cash App donations more than anybody else on here that y'all have ever donated to. I actually need donations. Like you have a GoFundMe and stuff like that, I actually need it. You can see that I'm actually struggling. I can't fake my struggle because the only thing is I'm actually in my grandmother's dwelling. I haven't went anywhere. I've been in the same spot. I can't drive because I have seizures, so I can't really go anywhere like that. My doctor said I have to be a year free of seizures, medicated before I could actually drive again. And I have not got that. And so here I am. I can't have any money because I can't work a job. This thing has caused me to lose my job. Jobs, wearing plastic on the jobs, walking around, getting caught talking to the thing. And so people think you crazy and stuff like that. It setting me to sleep because it can do things like that. I was showing y'all that on camera as well here in the past. It set me to sleep on my job. And so several times. And so the fact is you will lose your job if you got caught. Some of y'all are managers yourselves. And so, if you caught somebody sleeping at the job, you would pretty much fire them 9 times after a couple of times. Like, what do you think this is? So, I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, I don't have a job. I can't take care of myself like a normal person because I don't have a normal life. I don't. That's the honest to God truth. Am I trying to make the best out of my circumstances? Some people would say that you're not and say you're on YouTube. You see me doing what I'm doing right now. I could be doing, y'all will look over the things that I am doing in order to make my life better. I am doing something about it. I desire to be a teacher. I desire to get paid to teach people. Are you going to pay me to be the teacher that I'm being right now? I'm not trying to force you or trying to coerce you into doing anything, but that's just a question because you will complain possibly about my stance in life. Not complain, but more so judge. You'll judge about where I'm at in life, but you won't see what it is that I'm dedicating my time to. I mean, it ain't like the man ain't proving what he doing. And the Fibonacci, if you look back at other mathematical discoveries, those are actually what really built the world today. So I would be stupid if I just listened to everybody else who told me to not embark on and fully try to make it with my discovery just because they can't or y'all can't see it, what it could lead into as far as a name for me, as far as me never having to work another day in my life. Some of y'all don't understand that when I say that. Yes, a mathematical discovery on this level can do that if you understood. Books can be made off of this. Movies, Ancient Aliens is what this is about, bro. They have a TV show in which they're looking for the answer for this. I have the provided answer. And so therefore, a book or a movie, I could be on the TV show of Ancient Aliens back to back once they have my answer provided to them and get paid royalties for it. So therefore it's not like there's no money to be made out of this to where I should just, okay, yeah, Corey, you made a mathematical discovery, but you need to wake up to real life and realize that a mathematical discovery like that ain't gonna bring you anything in life. That ain't true. You need to look into other doors of what this actually has to deal with And you will understand, yeah, it could. It ain't like E equals MC squared, where he ain't getting paid today from that. It ain't like the Fibonacci sequence. They not getting paid from that. But it did what it did show you is that it's an A squared plus B squared equals C squared. It changed the world. It's something that's so stamped you can't erase it. You can't get rid. It's so fundamental that you can't erase it. So it's needed, is what it shows. But only thing you could say is it won't bring you no money. And I'm here to tell you, if you think you smart, but you see somebody showing you something that's made history like this, A squared plus B squared equals C squared could not do what this is doing. You could take that Pythagorean theorem out there. It ain't going to help you, no matter how good in math you are. That's what you need to understand. And that's what all of these mathematicians and things like that, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go down that route of thinking, of trying to figure out things, what's there. They wouldn't have something simple, an overlay like I have, that everybody could understand. A child can understand that probably better than some of the people are showing here. A fact, they would show that they're amazed. A child will understand and be like, God damn, how did you do that? Before y'all, I ain't got that from y'all yet. I ain't got one how did you do that from any of y'all yet. It's one thing to say it to yourself, but how many other people y'all done drop comments in the comment section of and express your amazement when they ain't even amazing? They ain't discovered nothing. They just copying some stuff that they already heard. There you go. It ain't called hating, it's called keeping it real, man. Now, why would 45 be considered the second coming of Messiah? 27 is Messiah revealed. But anyway, let me get to that to where it shows that the numbers 7 and 12 are, it mentioned it there with the rest of the numbers. There's two differences, and I know it wouldn't be down this low. If I kept it fresh as a memory. I believe it's all the way down here. That's not it either. So these are the different squares that they're also going into. So when they're speaking about these sets of numbers, he's talking about the innermost square. That's why it says that right there, the innermost square. So the other one I showed you was likely the bigger square. Here it is. Prominent number sets. There you are. 9, 12, 18, 27, 50, 45, 54, 72, and 216. And together their sum is equal to 453. 12. Here again, the 7, which they mentioned earlier up there in it. Now, I said right here, it says the fourth largest square. So even the square that you see there, it matters. Here again, the 7 and 12, or July 12th, of the New Jerusalem are prominently displayed and bespeak of perfection, and the duodecimal system, designed for true sacred geometry, is at its maximum capacity when used in these sun-star calculations. So understand that at this point, what it's showing you right here, what I've showed y'all about the New Jerusalem, my discovery, the New Jerusalem, once you research it, is said to be here. Where is the New Jerusalem? I'm from here. I'm from right there. Now understand that if you took the whole globe and you asked God to show and point, could you please, God, point to where the New Jerusalem is on the world map? Could you just point to where it would be at, the approximate location? That's right there. That's where I'm from. Do you see that? Now, I'm not saying that that's concrete or not, but do you see where they're even saying that the New Jerusalem would be? Old Jerusalem was there in Africa. That's where Jerusalem is today, where the Dome of the Rock is. And I showed y'all that the Dome of the Rock has to deal with the Nazca Sun Star. And that's where, here I am again, looping it right back to it either way it go. So it's crazy either way it go. But that's where they're saying it's going to be. This is where I said I'm going to build exactly. This is exactly where the Grand Pyramid of America is going to be built. You think I was going to choose anywhere else and I said it's going to be here on this land? You think I'm going to build it over there in California where they're going to sink underwater in the future? You think I ain't thinking about the future? So where else would I really have the best place to put it at if I'm going to build it? It'll be right here in this area. The world that I desire to bring into this is separating evil from good. A lot of y'all don't think you have the power to do things, but I'm going to use my power that I recognize I got for good. I feel, based on facts, that all evil people, all carnivores, should all be in the same area. If you want to be evil, if you want to be carnivorous and eat meat and things like that and carry on, you go ahead and y'all be put in the same area. If that's what you want to listen to as far as music and things like that, or you have anything in you that likes things like that likes blood, likes gore, likes to kill, and things like that, there is no reason for that. The earth does not need that. That is not a need. And if you don't recognize that, I'm telling you right now that if I did have the power of a king, I'm letting you know right now that there would be a huge separation in between the two. That all good people would be on one side of the fence where they grow their food. They don't bother each other in bad ways, such as killing and stupid shit that y'all think you need. Want to argue about something simple as that? That ain't something that you need. Killing and shit. Nobody needs that. So if you want to do that and you think that that's something that you need, you can go learn that lesson the hard way and go be around and entrapped with people in a state where y'all get to live free, just like people out here. But all of y'all evil people are in a dome. You know what I mean? And all of y'all can do all of that shit y'all want to do and think you need to y'all self, and we'll see how well y'all population, grows. We'll see how good you do, since it's what you need. Since you need evil. You need some killing. Don't no motherfucker need that. I'm tired of that. I'm sick of that shit. It's too much bloodshed in this world. And so I want to do something about it. You can think I'm just bold sounding if you want to, but I'm telling you the real deal. This is how I think for real. And this is how I'm down to change and conquer the way that this earth is to be better. Because all it takes is other people who think just like this to say, you know what, bro, that's a good ass idea, bro. It would be better. It do make sense. If we don't need it, if them motherfuckers want to argue, hell, let them go be with each other and argue and go get the killing in. Because he won't be arguing no more once his ass dead to the other one. Since he talking about you need it. You going to be gone then. You ain't going to be around long when somebody give you what you need. When you talking about somebody else need. I said stop the bullshit. And I'm not playing about it. I'm not playing about it. I'm cleaning water. I seek to do that in a natural way. And I'm going to change this turf to where people don't have to live day to day worried about threats of some dumb ass. Some pure damn dummy. That don't nobody the fuck need around. For real. Don't nobody need you. No dummy that want to kill and shit and cause the world to be hell. Nobody the fuck needs that. For real. Carnivores and shit. Some people think you need meat eating animals. What if everything that eat meat with them killers stayed up in there since they love so much blood and shit? Let them eat each other alive. And I'm telling you, you're going to see that you don't need that. And everything that eat based off of plants and stuff going to thrive and grow. All of it. What they going to die from? How something that eats plants and don't need, how it needs something to eat it for it to survive. You don't understand. I'm telling you. Man, god damn, some people just fucked up in the head, man. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, because we don't need that shit. If you can't learn, then you need to go be exactly there, because you're not finna fuck up shit for everybody else. I'm not allowing it. I'm gonna do everything in my mind, in my power, to change this world to be better than that it is. Because too many people just living in this world day to day and just living in it, ain't doing shit to change it, but will complain about it real quick. Complain about how this world is, but ain't doing shit striving to change it day to day. And that makes no damn sense. That's like complaining about a house that's stinking and nasty, shitty as hell, but you the one sitting up shitting everywhere, fucking up shit. You ain't doing nothing to pick up and clean nothing, but you complain about shit being fucked up. That don't make sense. So at least I am doing something. And it started with the mind. Because if everybody just start thinking like that, from hearing and get inspired like a virus, from one person thinking like that, next thing you know, everybody changing their actions based on their thoughts. And you got a new world here. So what it said and showed you right there as far as those predominant sets, it says down here as well. May I briefly interject? I am wholly, or however you say, because I ain't never really seen it like that, but yeah, wholly cognizant of the fact that I will take a whole lot of flack by associating the Sun Star with the film entitled John Carter and its Ninth Ray and the Son of Righteousness all in one breath. But be that as it may, such are the vicissitudes of the prophetic. The glaring fact of the 8 beams connected to the 8 squares as we come to the 4x4 square, second to the innermost square, in such an overt manner, displaying the 8 primary colors, and displaying the sun's association with the 8 solar planets. Upon the sun star of Peru and linking them to the mysterious and yet undisclosed reasoning behind Edgar Rice Burroughs' John Carter and the Ninth Ray, whose oxygen gives life to the colors. Right is another. Okay, y'all wouldn't care about that right there. But that, what I needed to show, I have shown as far as the numbers. What are the odds that when you go down there and you measure that, you got exactly the numbers that I'm talking about going on there? Why would he also make up those numbers? What significance do those particular numbers have to him? Has he made the discovery? No. So why would he, way before Corey, and this was in 2012, you're talking about 13 years ago. So 13 years ago, before I ever could have thought about this, you mean to tell me that these exact numbers is there? That's only confirming some shit for me. So there is nothing for anybody to ever think they could argue about. I promise you that. I ain't here to make nobody look stupid, but Corey gonna prove. I'm gonna leave you to where you cannot argue with anything that I show. I don't think I'm showing nothing significant. I know that this right here is exactly what I'm showing it is, and that's this right here, tilted at a 45-degree angle. And that every star that they find out there that's outside of that one that we are studying is at a 45-degree angle as well. So, I mean, that's frequency analysis for cracking any code. Shit crazy. So, what is that about? I don't know why that was cut off as far as the comments, but anyway, I just wanted to make that video real quick, and I will be recording what my sleep is like as I get ready to lay down here soon. I'm going to record myself going to sleep because I should not be able to start. And as a matter of fact, being that my phone might die, I'm going to use my grandmother's help and ask of her, since she ain't heard me going on. See, I'm getting a reaction right now from my left hand. It's wanting to torture me. And it's just horrible that I'm going through this, man. This thing it fiends to torture me, bro. It's waiting on me to get off of here. And as soon as I get off of here, it would start back doing that bullshit. And so I can't record again 9 times out of 10 because my phone is at 1%, as you can see. So I can't record myself sleeping immediately. I got to let my phone charge enough for me to put it back on the charger and record from there. But what I will do is, once this goes off, go in there, and if I start having to speak out at all about this thing bothering me, and where I've recorded that I've got all of these hours where I've dealt with no problems at all, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna ask my grandma, did you hear me just going off in there? And she gonna say, no, I ain't hear you since I've been in here going off about nothing. I heard you making a video and that's it. That's gonna at that point prove everything that I'm saying, because now you got your grandma sitting up here able to say that as soon as he got off of this video recording, he started being bothered. And he was recorded for a good 3 hours. Even longer than that, 4 hours I've been recording. So that ain't gonna make a lot of sense. All I want to do is just to fall asleep and not have to deal with this thing. That's it. But it's saying no. It's interacting with my left side, to clarify for y'all. So I'm gonna end this one here, man.